Thank ye for blessing me with a minty raiment to Effie.
What the hell was that?
Dude, it's from the great Scottish rapper, Mick Hammer.
You mean MC Hammer?
It's MC, not Mick.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go rethink some things about my entire life for a moment.
We have a show to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to As the Buckle Turns, the news. I'm Adam.
I'm Tim. The news.
The news.
Wow, that just sounded terrible.
ATBT News.
That just sounds worse.
Here on ZOP Gaming.
Horrible.
I love it. Stop making fun of our show that you're part of.
But that's what we do on this show.
No, we make fun of other shows on this show.
And our own. And me and you. I make fun of you all the time.
I hate you.
And that face.
I hate you. I hate you so much. All right.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the news. As if you're new, what we're doing is we're splitting up our extremely long podcasts into shorter bits.
Smaller stuff.
Trying to see what we can do. See if we can keep this under a certain amount of time so we can do more of the stuff we want to do. Like have a conversation, which never seems to work out.
Nope.
Because when we want to do a conversation, news just seems to fucking break.
Yep. Or we have an amazing review that we have to do, or predictions, or something.
Or enough news breaks where it just takes up enough time where we can't do the conversation because we have predictions.
Yes.
Or a review of a pay-per-view. So, yeah. So, what you can expect going forward is you have the news every week. You'll have a conversation podcast. We're still working out the name of the conversation podcast.
Yeah. ATBT Convo.
It's Head to the Turnbuckle Ramble.
As the Buckle Turns, Debate Club.
Debate Club?
Yeah.
You know what? I will settle for not As the Buckle Turns Debate Club. I'll settle for ATBT Debate Club.
Debate Club.
Debate Club. I'm going to spell it debate, but we're going to say debate from now on.
I hate my mouth sometimes.
But before we get into the news, we do have to send our wishes out to the McMahon family.
Yes.
Vince McMahon lost his older brother last Wednesday.
Roderick McMahon.
He was 77, I believe.
Yes, he was.
So our hearts and our prayers and wow, I can't think right now.
Okay.
Thoughts
and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers, that stuff.
Tots and friars.
Tots and friars. Go out to the McMahon family. Vince was actually not at the TV the last 2 week tapings.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly this was probably the reason why.
Makes sense.
He was in contact through I want to say Vimeo, but it's not. Zoom. And giving parts throughout the day, but wasn't involved.
I thought that was one of those young millennial things that they did.
Vince is hip. He knows what's cool.
He doesn't know what a burrito is.
But he apparently knew what tuxedo shorts were.
It's weird, okay, man?
Well, of course he
weird.
Said, and remember, he said that after showing a picture of Shaquille O'Neal or some other basketball player wearing them, he's like, I know what tuxedo shorts are. I'm hip.
All right.
And this all ties into the whole, what's his name? Done on NXT. McGrath.
Okay.
The Adam Cole feud podcast thingy, that guy.
Oh, yes.
The punter.
Because Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee. There we go. Because McAfee had worn him at Wrestlemania a few years ago. Got ripped by
somebody backstage.
He has a name. I just can't think of his name at the moment. It's the announcer guy who's totally annoying.
Michael Cole.
There we go.
Maggle.
I don't know how I forgot that name.
Maggle Cole.
But yeah. But again, hope the family's doing well, and all that. But with that, we're going to move on to our major story that literally broke on Monday.
Yes, it did.
As Wrestle Talk pointed out, Ali had just uploaded the news for Wrestle Talk, and as it was starting to air, this broke. He actually had to record a separate thing to cover this. I immediately sent it to Adam because I'm like, here you go. This just broke.
Yeah, and I saw the internet breaking over it.
Yeah.
And
that is the WWE has sold the network to Universal Peacock.
There is a star next to that. And that's just for the U.S. for the next 5 years. For $1 billion.
So yes, exactly. But
Damn.
now that's how all the headlines were saying.
Yeah.
Network
sold.
And it's only the rights to stream it.
Right.
But
in the U.S.
It's an interesting... Yes, in the U.S. But do we have actually people who listen outside the U.S. for this podcast?
Maybe.
We only have like 3 listeners.
No, last week. Did you... dude, I got to show you the number for last week. Last week's ratings for the news...
Yeah?
53 views. We haven't even... It's like... As of recording, it's Wednesday.
Yep.
Sorry to spoil things for you. Remove the magic.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Yes, I am. 53 plays since Saturday.
Damn.
So, thank you, everyone that tuned in last week. Please tell more people about this.
Yeah. You actually had a comment on on the podcast today. I looked at it because when I was uploading the conversation, ATBT Debate Club, even though it says discourse on there, we'll fix that.
All right. Yeah, right away. Our one commenter, I'm gonna respond to you here. Races fan rocks 4. By the way, thank you for being a fan.
I love how you gave him a thumbs up.
I gave him a thumbs up.
Who couldn't see it?
You know what? I'm hitting the heart right now. Boom. You got a heart and a shout out during the show.
Yep.
And yes, Nick Gage, amazing as well. I got to agree with you on that one. Anyway, thank you so much for leaving a comment, giving us a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel. Dude, if you rang the bell as well, I'm going to give you a hug. See, right now, I'm hugging you.
He'll hunt you down to give you a hug.
You feel it?
No,
I'm hugging you.
He won't actually...
Bring it in close, bro. Bring it in real close.
He'll track you down and he'll hug you.
I'll hug you.
So I hope you're a hugger.
I am a hugger.
But yeah, so that's actually pretty good. But yeah, if you haven't listened to the conversation already, because by the time this goes up on Saturday,
yep,
I'll have a link. There'll be a link down below to the conversation.
Cool.
We talk about Charlotte Flair's 12 championship wins.
6 years.
6 years.
Seriously.
Not including the World Tag Team the W Women's Tag Team Championship.
Nope.
Only World Singles titles.
Right.
In 6 years, and that's the actual caption of it. So go check that one out. But yes, so the network did sell. It's only the streaming rights in the U.S. for 5 years for $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Exactly. If you're picturing Dr. Evil from...
Oh, please.
That's exactly the meme I
editor,
sent to Adam.
can you put a video? Can you put a picture of Dr. Evil in here?
I don't think he can.
Ah.
But after I said that, like literally sent it to him like for $1 billion, and I sent him the Dr. Evil.
Yeah,
you did. Like, you just like, oh my god.
I was like, oh, that's perfect.
But yes, it's for Peacock.
Yes,
because we never said where they're streaming. Universal's is Peacock.
Yeah, it's through NBC. It's supposed to rival CBS's streaming service.
If they can beat CBS, I think they'll be happy for a while. Because
CBS has Star Trek, okay, bro?
So
okay.
This is why NBC needs to buy from GMG Stargate to rival them. Because if they did that and
Stargate isn't that big. They're no Star Trek, okay?
They're not that. No, I'll agree. It's not as big, but it has the potential to.
Oh, it could.
Over years, if they bring it back.
And do another spin-off series.
Do some more series.
Or a reboot series. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You could do that. Come on.
But that would be a great way to have a counter sci-fi program.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's going to be on there. We do have some details for it. For all you network fans who are paying $9.99 for the network, congratulations. You'll be able to get the network for $4.99 once it goes over to Peacock.
With ads.
With ads.
Or you can continue paying $9.99. Now you have all of Peacock's content and the WWE Network here in the U.S. No ads.
No ads. So it all
depends. Oh, and pay-per-views are still included.
Yes.
I'm still not signing up for it.
No.
I don't really care.
At some point, I may go in.
I want to care. I really want to care. But I don't.
But now it's on Peacock, when I actually have a job and making money again.
I mean, Peacock is something that I would sign up for.
I may sign up for Peacock because they do have some content that I would be interested in.
Community.
And also the fact that I could then go continue watching the old Nitro episodes through 97.
Nice.
Again, I can really pinpoint. I want to pinpoint the episode where Nitro goes off the rails.
You want to pinpoint that? Dude, it's something like 94.
No. Nitro didn't exist in 94.
I know. That's when WCW went off the rails.
No, we're talking about after when they basically say, no, this is the turning point for like the quality of Nitro.
Oh, yeah.
Not when the ratings started to go down because WWE was tipping up the game. No, I want to talk about when like the madness started. Like you can go like, no, this is the pinnacle.
This is when it happened.
And it's not gonna be one of those obvious episodes where it's like super crazy and everyone complains about. I'm talking about the episodes that prelude it.
Yeah.
Not prelude it.
Prelude.
Yeah, prelude. Those ones that are like you can kind of see hints of this, and then you get that episode.
Much in the same way that really 1996 was the year that the seeds of the Attitude Era were all sown.
Very slowly.
Very slowly.
When I say sown, we're talking about pieces, like very tiny
Austin
pieces.
Winning King of the Ring.
Basically, that's the biggest one. But then you have like.
But then it's like later on we have Austin versus Bret Hart.
Yeah.
In the double turn. But
that was actually 97.
Well, yes, but
that having that matchup, then having the whole Bret getting screwed out of the. No, that was
really. I feel that that Survivor Series 97 is where it actually that's where your hard break is.
Yes,
but all of the seeds from King of the Ring 96 on.
There's not many seeds in 96 really, other than Austin and Bret Hart are the two big ones. There's a few little things throughout that like Mankind.
Yes.
Coming in. But there's a few things that really did tie into small things that did lead to it. But 97 build, and then you got Survivor Series.
Survivor Series, literally the Monday after that is where the Attitude Era just really takes over.
Even though it was a few more weeks before Vince Lee had that whole, we're going to change it up. We're listening to you. We're going to get a little bit edgier type promo to start off Raw. But literally, Survivor Series is really...
Bret screwed Bret is where it kicks off.
Yes, it really is. So it'll be interesting to see how this all goes over. There are some logistics that have to be figured out because this is going to happen in March. And because it's going to be right around the time Fastlane comes in, because they want it for WrestleMania. They want to draw the numbers for WrestleMania, which is the smartest move.
I actually think that that WrestleMania will help the NBC content of Peacock more than Peacock subscribers coming over and going, "Oh, wrestling." Yeah, it's going to be the other way around.
There might be some lapsed fans who will one day be who are Peacock members who
hey, the network,
the WWE Network. They have the old stuff on, and
then
they'll watch some of if they like the old '80s stuff or they like the Attitude.
And then eventually they'll just be like, you know what? I want to check out wrestling. What night is this? Oh, it's Wednesday night. What's on for wrestling? Oh, what's this AEW? Oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever.
They turn into NXT. This isn't that good. I've heard there's another wrestling show on. What is it? Oh my God, AEW, this is awesome.
I'm an old WCW fan. This is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Wrestling is still real to me.
It'd be hilarious. Old last fans through Peacock watching WWE Network end up becoming AEW fans. That would be the whole... Someone tracks that, I would laugh my ass off so hard.
It's one of those, like, March, May and June... Peacock numbers start to go up and views on the network start going up, but it's specifically like the old WCW stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
July NXT numbers for 2 weeks spike, and then like the first week of August, AEW's just start going like every week after that. Just like, keeps climbing.
They're just like they break 1 million, then they just keep going. So next you know they're beating Raw, and you just hear USA saying, "Why are they beating Raw?"
Peacock's numbers start dropping off.
Yep.
I'm sorry. That's terrible.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, but like it could happen. There will be some last fans who maybe will discover it through there, but it's probably not gonna do or well make a big difference from that overall.
Yeah.
But it is a good thing for wrestling fans who would like to have the network, but they don't want to pay $9.99 because the main thing you're watching are pay-per-views aren't worth the $9.99.
It really, that's the reason I stopped my subscription, was that I was just like, the quality overall isn't drawing me in anymore.
When we can predict WWE's pay-per-views for the most part very accurately,
when we stopped paying really any attention and still have a one maybe two wrong on a card,
that's an issue.
You're like, wow, you guys made it way too easy.
Because we're not predicting who should win the match, we're predicting what Vince might do. And he's predictable most of the time. It's around this time for like Royal Rumble, stuff like that,
Things can get a little crazy.
He can get a little crazy. He can make weird decisions, like the whole Charlotte being added to the Becky and Ronda storyline.
Yep.
Just because it's Charlotte Flair. Because Becky's not a big enough star.
I guess not.
Apparently. Even though after that pop, when she got added into the Royal Rumble, should have. But anyway, it's a good thing. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out overall. In a few weeks, we'll do a conversation more in detail on this. As more stuff comes out. But we're just going to cover it here. So let's move on to our next story.
So in retaliation to this, ESPN is no longer covering any WWE content.
Yep. They have pulled everything out. They've kind of backed away from covering Raw about a year ago.
Yep.
But they were still talking stuff about WWE on there. But now that the Peacock has the network,
their biggest rival, NBC,
they are like saying, like, you know what? We're not going to cover them anymore. But it's nice to know. There's something to note, though, here. They're not covering wrestling. No. They're not covering WWE. So AEW could end up being covered if they felt spite enough.
And I feel that it would lend itself more to ESPN's style of content, where they're able to, from an analytic point of view, talk about why this match is coming up at, we'll say, Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be like, oh, yeah, they're having that match because, you know, so-and-so is challenging for the AEW championship against Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, their record for this year is, you know, 5 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws.
Yeah. Also, basically, they can cover the same when they cover boxing and MMA.
Yes.
The whole point is to become a champion. Instead of your division champions, like in boxing for your weight class,
right?
You have your tag division, you have your singles division, you also have the TNT, who have 2 titles. There, you have your women's division. You can play. You have a way to set it up. And if Tony Khan is like, oh, they'll still cover wrestling, he should go and harp on that. Like, here's how you package it.
Oh, and by the way, you guys can cover us, Impact,
New
Japan. Dudes, come on. There's a lot of content out there that you can. I mean, also ESPN does have a precedent for not covering an entire sport because of NBC in the past.
Yeah.
When NBC first got the rights to the NHL, for 1 season, ESPN didn't cover hockey.
Damn.
Outside of, they didn't cover the NHL for a season.
Damn.
They covered everything else about hockey. ESPN got Hockey Night in Canada.
Damn.
Like, I was like,
that's spite.
ESPN.
That's spite.
You know what? I like it.
Now, not just the fact that Peacock is their rival owners, because Disney owns ESPN,
right,
Universal, and you go to the 2 parent companies. They're the 2 one of the two biggest
out
in the world.
Disney and Universal are always challenging for like top and entertainment, if you will. Yeah.
Universal's is a little bit bigger parent company overall.
Yes.
But when you're looking at the powerhouse that Disney now has with Fox, it is getting stronger.
It could be.
But one of the reasons why there could be so much spite against WWE is there's rumors for a while now of Disney just outright buying WWE.
They thought about it. I mean, come on, Disney has the buying power.
Yeah, they do. And WWE is only worth about $2 billion at most.
Yeah. And I think most of that is because of their current revenue stream.
Yeah.
I feel that if they had not reached out and set up the revenue streams that they have now, they wouldn't be worth even, honestly, even $1 billion.
No, they wouldn't be. So it's one of those things
where because they don't come across as having that much property.
No. So that's the thing I could see why they're being.
God damn it! I don't have a drink.
Oh, it's a diet.
Yeah, I'm avoiding that one. I have a Diet Mountain Dew here, fan, and I'm sorry. I am a Mountain Dew drinker. It is part of my lifeblood.
That Diet Mountain Dew.
It has been almost 2 weeks.
It's been 3 weeks.
3 weeks now.
I bought it from an accident thinking it was Mountain Dew, not realizing it was a diet.
Hold on. Is it still good? Is it still good? Let's check.
It's still good.
Oh yeah, I even got a bar out of that one. Okay. I'm gonna take a sip. Hold on. Oh, it feels fake.
But anyway, the one of the things
you keep talking.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab a drink. I'll be right back.
So one of the things that you could also be, because of their possibly buying WWE, was one of the things possible, or considered at least. I can understand why ESPN and Disney overall, like, nope, we're done with them now. But going back to the network thing really quickly, is this idea of them selling the network it'd be the stupidest thing that WWE could actually do overall, because their library, it has so much of the old territory days libraries. To outright sell that would be stupid.
Yeah, totally stupid.
Especially only for $1 billion. Now, I could see if this play for the Peacock worked out in Peacock's favor, like it did do what made them happy.
Yes.
Maybe they came back to WWE and say, we're going to purchase the library. By the library, we mean we're purchasing the library in totality of the stream, like for streaming. You'll still have access to your entire library for your own promotions and everything.
Basically, they'll just technically, instead of leasing the network, they'll lease the library to put it on their own streaming video service.
No, I think they just buy the library and say, basically saying, well, you have access in lifetime.
Yes.
For your existence to use any of the footage for anything without you don't have to because whatever you're doing, you'll still have use of it, but we have it to put. It's always gonna be on the Peacock.
Right.
You can't in 5 years it wouldn't go. I can understand if it worked out, but in the long run, as a business, WWE owning that library is better unless you can get a really good deal for it. That'd be funny if 5 years from now Disney comes back saying, no, we want the library. We're gonna buy it, pay $5 billion.
Yeah.
Just for the library. We don't want you. We just want your library for Disney Plus and for ESPN. You still have the same kind of deal like we were just talking about for you to use, but it'll be on ESPN. Vince would jump at it in a heartbeat.
I probably.
But we'll talk about this when we talk about this other deal. In the conversation in a few weeks. We'll talk about more of the timing of this deal and what it is and why it happened at the time it did. But let's move on.
So, look, there's a rumor that NXT might be moving nights.
You mean we're finally going to put an end to the stupid Wednesday Night Wars?
So the reason for this is NBC Sports Network, NBCSN, is closing up.
Yep, they're closing that down. And its belief is that they will be moving at least NHL to USA. That's the belief. No, we don't have any confirmation of where these things are going.
Okay.
But they have had hockey on USA before.
Yeah.
I think they still do, even though they have the sport network. But they would just be moving that entire thing to USA, which would be Wednesday nights.
Right.
Which would be far more valuable than NXT on that night.
Yeah, it is.
Which would mean they would move it to a different night, which means it would run unopposed, meaning the show would actually grow.
Yeah. Put it on Thursday.
Put it on Thursday. And it will actually have better numbers, get more advertising, but it won't do
Tuesday even. I don't care.
That would go against Impact. I know. 'Cause we saw that when it does, the 2 nights that aired on a Tuesday night, Impact was gravely injured.
Yes, I know, but still.
I know.
Like that's a worry for NXT is going to...
That'd be hilarious.
Sorry, Impact starts stealing NXT's thunder.
That'd be hilarious. Impact starts to grow with a relationship with AEW when they start beating NXT.
NXT's like, guys,
they're
seriously.
on Access. How are they fucking beating us? But no.
NXT's like, Raw, SmackDown, Mom, Dad, Impact's bullying me. And they're like, shut up. It's Impact.
Yeah. But no, going to Thursday nights I think would be a better option. But like it would grow, but it would not fulfill the purpose it was being on the USA Network. It's taking footage, taking viewers away from AEW. So
it has never lived up to that.
No.
Only at the very beginning, here and there.
Only a few times throughout the last year has it actually
and every time that match, that card is always a takeover level card.
And you know what the funny thing is? The last few times they've done a takeover level card, recently,
it didn't work.
It didn't work.
Nope. Okay.
So, but it'll be an interesting thing. Yeah, I know. But this move wouldn't happen until October.
Okay.
And there's a possibility that's when Impact's NXT's contract comes up. So that's when they could probably, if they're going to renegotiate, keep it. But
put it on the network.
That was actually another story that broke that they were actually take it off TV to put it on the network for part of Peacock.
Yeah.
They disproved that.
Oh.
So
I would laugh. October comes and they're like, we're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, yeah. And they're like, no, technically your deal with NBC Universal says that we can put it on any one of our networks. We consider Peacock one of our networks. And they're like, oh, you sons of bitches.
Well, if the contract does come up at that time, and they renegotiate and they had that clause, then they could do it. But time will tell.
I would love that. I mean,
that'd be hilarious.
Oh, no, even better is it's not on the WWE Network. It's on Peacock.
Yeah, it's specifically on Peacock.
Yes.
And you have to wait a full day before it's on the WWE side of the Peacock, like they do now. That'd be hilarious. Okay, let's move on.
All right. Looks like we have confirmation of at least one major returning star for WrestleMania 37 and 38 and 39.
Undertaker?
No.
Let's be honest. He's probably coming back because
the
whole thing is that they're going 2 nights again this year. People back believe they have to have 4 major matches, 2 for each night, and they've gone through the list, and Undertaker is maybe questionable. Of
course.
And people are saying a lot of people in the back do believe he's retired.
Yes.
We all know it just takes Vince to ask him, and he'll come back.
All Vince does is shake the money purse, the coin purse, and he's just like, shh, 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 shh. And Mark's like, what do you need me to do?
So
I wouldn't mind seeing him come back.
But if he did come back, he better be careful because the soft wrestlers may show him how soft they aren't.
Okay. Anyway, no, what I would like to see if he does come back for this year, at the very least, is a special guest referee.
Yeah.
Something where you're not part of the action.
Yeah.
Because, dude, yeah.
Who knows? Time will tell.
All right.
But yes,
it's
John Cena.
Thanks.
Yeah, I sold it.
Thanks.
I wanted to steal it from you.
Thanks.
It's a Ken.
I was gonna I was going to let everyone know that it was John Cena.
I'm just stealing your thunder like I always do.
I can't believe you did that to me.
Just like I stole the Predictions Championship.
He's not only locked into WrestleMania 37, but 38 and 39.
Which makes sense because Hollywood being in 39,
yeah,
they're going to want a big Hollywood star there. They're also going to probably try to get The Rock for that one at that time. Because
definitely. But it does seem more that John, they have no idea what he's doing.
There's some people saying that even they wouldn't be surprised if John doesn't even know what he's doing.
Well, yeah.
At this point.
But, I mean, because it's one of those... John Cena's not part of a major storyline unless they suddenly fit him into one.
Because there's no talk of how much build or appearances he'll make for this.
It's just that he will be part of the show.
And while he is busy in Hollywood, he's not that far out busy where they couldn't lock him down for this year or the following year. Or maybe he was busy enough where they could still get him for that night and he'll do something at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
And then they wrestle, do something.
Remember, The Rock went through a number of years where he was the host of WrestleMania, and then he made an appearance at WrestleMania.
And then
he used a big old blowtorch and burned his name at WrestleMania. Did have 2 matches.
3 matches. Remember?
3 matches.
Because he had his last match against Eric Rowan where he beat him with a rock bottom immediately after ripping off his clothes and the match started.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be a match.
Basically, that was just their way of getting The Rock on the card.
Yeah.
And get around the insurance issue with his Hollywood deal. No one would allow him to wrestle.
Because there's probably a different bonus for actually having a match at WrestleMania compared to making an appearance at WrestleMania.
True, but also the main reason why he can't get around the insurance is because his last actual match he had, he tore his abdomen and postponed the filming of Hercules, which cost millions of dollars.
Yes, and that was the once in a lifetime part 2.
Yes, part 2 against John Cena, and since then all Hollywood insurance says no. If you're gonna wrestle, we will not cover you in the film.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in production, like nope. So that's why he hasn't been able to do a lot of stuff, and that's why they got around the whole
they were just like thing. It was impromptu.
Yeah. You had your wrestling gear on underneath. I always have my wrestling gear on. Even on set, I always have my wrestling gear.
My wrestling gear on.
You have your wrestling trunks on? Always.
He's like, they're on right. Rips his pants off. They're not tearaway. Literally he's wearing jeans. He literally tears them off like they're a pair of tearaway pants. They're not tearaway pants.
Just remember.
Be afraid, kids.
Just remember, this is the guy who literally ripped his front gate off because the power went out and it was going to take too long and he had to get the set.
Yes.
So he could actually do that.
And he's got his The Rock tights on. And it's just like, and the knee pads. And the boots.
He's like, but you were wearing sneakers.
I know. I'm that good.
Yep.
Flashes the eyebrow. And he's like, yeah. And you're wearing sunglasses.
Where'd they come from? Yeah.
And you're like, how?
But it'll be interesting to see.
I'm The Rock. That was Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
We are actually 2 different people.
It'll be interesting to see what Cena does and all that. But it's good to see that he's back. He is there. There was rumors that Cena was considering being done after the Firefly Funhouse match, which would have been a great way to go out. But apparently he's been convinced, probably because of the money.
Well, yeah. I don't mind that going out because it's like that's a really cool, different way to retire from the biz. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him go out like the proper way, on his back, to somebody that he is giving the rub to.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that too, because he's not wrestling on a regular basis. Yes, people will say he's going to be taking a spot at WrestleMania like all the part-timers do.
After 2 nights.
Well, this year. We don't know about the next 2 years.
Well, yeah, but still.
But here's the one. If anyone of the part-timers deserve one of those spots, it's John Cena.
Yeah.
After how long he busted his ass for the company. Remember, we're Cena haters. We were the ones who.
No, you might have been a Cena hater. I was part of C Nation.
When I say Cena haters, I mean we're the people who were sick and tired of seeing Cena constantly doing the same old shit.
Oh yeah,
always be at the top because it's just John Cena and not giving new people. It's basically the Roman Reigns pushed and everything.
Yeah, I mean there was that wave.
But we enjoyed John. We enjoyed Cena, especially as he came back and he actually showed what he could actually do in the ring.
Yes.
Against like AJ Styles and stuff. But we'll see what he'll do in the next 3 years. But
yeah,
good to know we have him for at least 3 more years.
So this is just going to be a super quick one. Nia Jax. Oof.
Yeah, I called that. I was reading the So before we get to there, there was a spot on Raw. There's a spot on Raw where Nia Jax decided to try to improvise a move and slammed Dana Brooke really hard into the mat.
It is it's the not spine buster, but it's a choke slam spine buster. I've seen it before. Like in a way, Triple H's spine buster is like that. Arn Anderson's spine. The only thing is, Nia went for a choke slam out of it. Didn't bring down just a standing.
It looks more like of a power bomb into a choke slam.
Yeah, no.
So what I called was I was reading the play-by-play, the write-up from Wrestling Inc., and I saw that spot. I'm like, Nia is not that good to do a transition like that.
Yeah.
Someone else could do that, but not Nia. And then I find out she hit hard. People thought Dana was concussed. Thankfully, she's okay.
Yep.
But once again,
Nia. Oof.
But we will be covering the Nia in a conversation at some point in the next few weeks because we're gonna do our homework.
Yeah.
All right. That one. So now, moving on.
Let's get on to the Royal Rumble here. There is rumors that the finish to the Men's Rumble is going to be oof level as well.
Yeah, this broke yesterday. Someone from Ringside News.
Ringside News. Yep.
Was talking to a source. No details on what it possibly could be, other than the finish to it that's getting traction and actually consideration terrifies them.
Terrifies this person. It's an inside, anonymous source.
So in other words, Brock Lesnar is returning to win the Royal Rumble to face Goldberg at WrestleMania.
Why? For the championship.
Yes.
Which somehow Drew McIntyre is going to drop.
Which, by the way, Goldberg will walk out as champion at WrestleMania to hold it all the way until next year's Royal Rumble, where he'll finally have his match, his second, because he only has 2 matches a year now. He'll hold the WWE Championship for that long.
Don't say that out loud, man.
Why? Because of the microphones?
Yes.
That's why I said them.
All right. But Mick Foley has...
But yeah, so we don't know any more details on that. But moving on.
Mick Foley is, I don't know, rooting?
He's advocating in a sense.
He's rooting for her.
Advocating his opinion out there, but not to WWE. For Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
To win the Women's Royal Rumble.
The Women's Royal Rumble. Okay.
Yes, not the men's. That'd be I would be okay with that.
I'd be really cool with that.
I think it'd be interesting. I mean, a man won the women's Money in the Bank, so.
That was stupid.
Yeah, it was. But he's thinking the whole thing with Charlotte derailed her. This would be a great way to bring her up to the main roster. Apparently, she's on her way up, according to some sources. So that would be a great way to do it. I agree. Another person is Bianca Belair.
Yes.
Which I think is another good person.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, it's going to be Charlotte.
Yeah, of course it is. All right, so talking about further pay-per-views, though, AEW's Revolution has been moved. So they're moving it to March 7th.
Yes.
A Sunday.
Their first Sunday pay-per-view.
Yeah, and they were originally, it was going to be February 27th.
Yes, and they're moving it because of a major boxing fight.
But then they were going to move it to March 6th because that was the Saturday.
Yep.
Except for UFC is happening that night. So they're like, fine, we're going to March 7th.
And as much as Tony Khan says they do not see MMA as competition, they're picking to have it on a Sunday instead of a Saturday, which just makes sense.
Yeah, it works out. It's going to work out better for them. It's a night that something is not going, no other major event.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see that. It means we have to wait a little bit longer for Revolution though, but only a week.
And finally, this week, it does seem that somebody over at Impact has a contract coming up.
Let me guess. It is Sammy Guevara.
He's with AE. You know what? Never mind. It's Moose.
Who?
The TNA heavyweight champion.
They gave that belt to an actual Moose.
No.
Wow, that company's going weird.
Tim,
your face is great.
Tim, like, I sometimes really hate. You know what?
But yes, Moose's contract is coming up.
Yeah, it's in June that it's going to be ending.
So he's been doing a really good run with the TNA Championship, coming back and being the unofficial, just appointed himself. They're apparently finally building towards him and Rich Swann for a unification.
Right.
Time will tell if he's going to re-sign. It's good for him. He's going to reinvigorate his career.
You know what? I've got a feeling that unification match is going to happen right before, right before his contract is ending. So that way there can be, even on the internet, people going, did he resign? Because if he resigned, he'll probably win.
Yep.
But if he didn't, he'll probably lose here. And it'll be like, it'll add an air of the championship can go in either direction. What's going on?
I don't think it's a question. It'll be Rich Swann who wins because they're already positioning the Rich Swann Kenny Omega matchup for
Belt Collector Kenny.
Which will be later because they're focusing on Moose right now, which they should, because this should have been happening sooner.
All right.
There's our major notes.
Yes.
Those are our major news pieces. So you got to the end. Give us a thumbs up. Comment down in the comment section what piece of news you thought was the most intriguing. Your thoughts on the network, Moose's contract. Let us know. And since you made it to the end of this piece, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Ding.
Ring that bell.
Ding. Ding.
Make sure you turn on all notifications so you know when all other content from Zop Gaming goes live.
Yes.
Make sure you tune into on Wednesdays when the
ATBT
Debate Club. What was it? How do we pronounce it?
Debate Club.
Debate Club airs.
We just moved the L from club over to debate.
Yeah,
it becomes the Debate Cub.
The Debate Cub. Check that out on Wednesdays, and Fridays will be when our predictions go up.
Yes.
Have a good night. And by the way, Adam.
Yeah.
Your face is hideous.
Oh, you don't do... No.
Yes. Get bent. No.